Welcome to What the Fuck Wednesday. I keep wanting to say Tuesday because it was on Tuesday for years. But we recently switched to Wednesday, and so this seems to be working out pretty well for Candace and Shay, and I guess it's going to work for me too. So welcome to the show. This is something we do every week. People send in their letters in advance. My cousin Candace picks which one she wants, which one she likes, which one she thinks are interesting, and puts them into this document. I read the question and then I give an answer. That's how it goes. The people observing in the chat room will often have an opinion as well. They'll share their thoughts in the chat stream. So those of you who wrote in, as you listen for your letter, be sure to listen to what I say, but also check what the viewers have to say in the chat room for a different perspective. Sometimes, sometimes they're very insightful. Sometimes they all from left field. I have no responsibility or control over that. And sometimes they're just really, really funny and say stupid stuff. But, whatever, if you're the sensitive kind, the person, this is not the show for you. Don't write me because you will definitely get your feelings hurt. So here we go. This says that we have 26 questions. I'm going to let you know now. Since we're doing this show tomorrow, our monthly live on the spot dating advice show. So any of you who did not write in and you want to get a question answered, tomorrow night is the night. There is a $10 fee involved, but you get your answer right there on the spot. So that's tomorrow night, same time, 6 o'clock, just like you're here. So what I'm going to do is do 20 of these questions. I'm going to save 6 of them for tomorrow because it usually takes people a little while to kind of, decide that they're going to call in or post a question or whatever. So it gives me some fodder for the show to start. So we're going to 20. We'll do another 6 tomorrow, and plus whatever people, call in or type in the chat room. That's what we're going to do. All right. So let us get started with question number 1 of 20. Remember, I hope I remember to stop. I'm not used to stopping, but I'll try to remember. Okay. Question number 1. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Florida. Summary of issue. We have a good, possibly rare connection, but he doesn't want to commit yet or show any relationship effort, and I'm not sure where this is going. Am I wasting my time with this guy? It kills me how they put the whole letter in the summary. But anyway, here we go. Hi, Deb, long-time listener, but this is my first time writing in for advice. So I've been talking exclusively with this guy for a while, 2 months. I'm 23 and he's 27. We talk on the phone daily and hang out once a week, where we are extremely comfortable and physically affectionate like we're in a relationship. I've met his friends and vice versa. We talk about the future a lot, and when we're unfiltered to each other, it's clear the connection we have. The thing is, he's never been in a relationship and wants to be sure before dating officially. He said himself he has commitment issues and that he's only talked to girls for a couple of dates. So this is the longest he's talked to someone. Usually by now, he cuts it off saying that he's not ready. Is that a red flag? Obviously, he said, I'm different, and sometimes his actions say this is different too, but I don't want to fall into the trap of thinking I'm the exception and accepting less than what I deserve. Can't he just waste my time for a while before cutting things off? Because he's not actively pursuing me. I can't even decide or tell if I want to be with him. And she puts a frowny face. I can't see if this is how he would be in a relationship because he said his effort would increase as things progress. I don't know. TikToks I see say that if a man doesn't want to commit, then you're not his dream girl. What do you and the squad think? I think that you should be doing what I always advise, which is have 2 or 3 dudes in rotation. See, if you were doing as I was trying to teach you guys to do, you would not be too bothered about whatever he's talking about because you would have your roster full with other guys. Now, whether any of them wanted a commitment or whether you did or not, that's not even the point. The point is you're too focused on this guy because he's the only one in the play. Now, if you get some other people in the play, he'll just be one of the players and you won't be tripping on what he does or when he does it, or what he says, what he thinks, or anything else. You'll get together with him, you have a good time, and then you deuce out and go have fun with someone else. That is how you date properly when you don't have a commitment. See, so you putting all this focus on him and talking about, we act like we're in a relationship. That's your fault. You control that. Why are you letting him get all the benefits of a relationship and he's not in one? Why are you giving him so much time and energy and like he's in a commitment with you when he's not? This is bad. You're handling this all wrong. If once he says that he doesn't want to be in a relationship, then you're supposed to say, okay, that's fine. Because, there's no guarantee that I'd want to be in one with you anyway. Plus, I'm seeing 2 or 3, whatever number of other people. So, I'm sure somebody would want to commit at some point, whether it's you or one of them or somebody that's not even in the roster yet. So I'm not too bothered about it. So where you want to go this week and what you want to do. Okay, so then, he says that he has commitment issues and he's making it seem like, by now he would cut it off. Don't you know that that's the biggest game in history? To make you try to feel you believe that you're special and unique and that you have a chance that other women didn't have. This is the oldest game in the book. Next to just let me put party in and I'll pull out in time and stuff like that. This is right in there. Because the thing is to give you hope, right? Because you're thinking, well, he's gone this far and, he says I'm different. So, the next step is he's going to commit. So you put all your energy into, you only see him and you waste all your time thinking about him. Stop it. And I can't believe that you were a long-time listener and you fell for this. So it's like you're listening, but you're not getting what you're hearing. You're not getting it. I've told y'all 5 million times, if a man is not giving you the relationship that you want, you deuce out. Or you could just keep him in rotation. He's just entertainment value. But you don't put any emotional stake in him. You don't invest in him. You don't trip about him. You don't call him. You don't really think about him too much. When he pops up, you be like, oh, hey, how you been? But other than that, you don't trip on what he's doing. And you talking about he's not pursuing you anyway. So what is it that you think you're going to get out of this? Please wake up, girlfriend. Think about this. Look at what, re-listen to what you wrote, because I know you guys don't get a copy. But listen to what you wrote here and see if this makes any sense to you. This dude is just gaming. He has no intention to commit to you or anybody else. He's too busy playing the field. Understand what's going on. Read the room. And then adjust your behavior and your expectations accordingly. Because you're doing too much. Whew, Lord have mercy. Oh, yeah, let me get over here to the chat so I can see who all showed up. Hey, Shay. It's Shay the Bae. There's Vanna and Faith and Anna and Lacey and Ash. And, I already said Vanna. Okay. Who else is in here? Oh, Sliver. I had to scroll up to see you. Oh, I see a new one. Stella Dama. A new name. Sensitive Black woman. And, butter my toast cereal. Sometimes people come in here, right, and I don't recognize the screen name because they changed it. But they be, oh, I'm so-and-so. And then they tell you what their old screen name was. And I'm like, why are you making my life difficult? I can barely remember my name. So anyway, let's move on. Let's do question number 2. This is from a young man in the 22 to 27 age group from the UK. Summary of issue. My girlfriend always initiates conversations about how other guys are over friendly with her because she's so beautiful. Oh my God. Repeatedly tells me that her exes were drooling over her, etc. What's the proper way to react to this? Oh, Jesus. You can tell you a nice guy, because if I was her dude, I'd be like, who gives up? Don't nobody want you. They just blew smoke up your ass to make you think all that. You know, you ain't no better than nobody else, so stop tripping and telling me some crazy stuff like that. I would be, uber rude and say stuff like that to her. But let's see how you handle it. I'll cut to the chase immediately because I know you hate long ass letters. You right. We are both 24 years old and we've been together for 3 months or so and are good together so far. However, since I'm not that experienced in relationships, I don't know how to react to the fact that my girlfriend every now and then talks about how attractive she is and in turn how other guys are overly keen on hitting on her. This sometimes deviates to talking about past relationships, the focus being on how her exes were obsessed with her. I'm not even remotely close to being insecure about expressing or showcasing her beauty, but I don't know how to respond to these talks. I have an inner feeling that's kind of a cocky thing to bring up to make me jealous, test my loyalty, even to see how I would react. I don't feel like reciprocating the same test because I find it inconvenient. I'm always eager to give her the daily dose of validation, genuinely, because I love her. So I don't think she's lacking validation from me. At the same time, I don't want to bring that issue up because I fear that my feelings might be invalid or unreasonable. I would like to hear your opinions, ladies, since most of you are older and more mature than the two of us are. What's this all about? It's about your girlfriend being very insecure. She doesn't have much confidence in herself. So she's trying to build herself up by making these kind of statements so that you can agree. So you can say, oh, yeah, babe, because you know this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And kind of fluff her up. That's what she's looking for, to be fluffed up. But I'm glad you didn't fall for it because that is like a black hole. Once you start down there, there's no amount of fluffing that's going to be good enough. She's going to drain you dry. People, when people are insecure, learn how to self-validate and self-soothe because otherwise they just run everybody off. They run all the girls run all the men off. So really, like, in a situation like this, what you should say to her the next time she does is to say, well, they was all sprung on you and stuff, but where are they now? If they was all that hooked on you, wouldn't they still be here? Why they exes then? Obviously, your opinion of how they was into you is overblown. They weren't as into you as you think or want to think. You have to say stuff like that to kind of bust her bubble. Not real harsh, but like a reality check. So they were so into you and so drooling over you. Where are they at now? How come they still ain't drooling then? What you doing over here? Since they was all on you and everything. So, just to ask her that question and see what she says, because I'm very curious. I really want to know. Well, if they was all that sprung into you, I mean, those are the kind of men who usually be busting out with rings and don't want to let you go and stuff like that. But since all of them are now in the wind and exes, what you talking about, girl? Okay. And the other thing is, I think you're right. I don't know if she's trying to make you jealous. I think it's more about her. I don't know. I'm just getting this vibe that she just feels empty inside. And so this external validation of men thinking she's so fine and beautiful and all that stuff is how she defines herself. It's all about her, what she looks like. And so she's the kind, like, if she had to get a mastectomy or something, would just be like on the edge of the Golden Gate Bridge trying to jump or something. So, this kind of girl, I mean, even though you love her and all this kind of stuff, this kind of girl is a headache. And most likely that's why the other dudes left, because it's just never ending. You can never validate her enough because she's like a black hole inside. She's completely void of any kind of self-confidence or self-esteem. Everything that she thinks about herself is based on how she looks and the feelings that she gets from guys noticing and complimenting her. Not from herself filling herself up, from what guys do. When you have a woman like that, she's gonna get you in fights, and she could possibly get you stabbed or shot because she's gonna be looking for this coming from some guy who might not be wrapped too tight, and he's not gonna know that it's her little game, and he's gonna be taking her flirtations and stuff seriously, and it's gonna get you involved, and then it's gonna be a hot mess. So you need to think about this. These kind of girls are dangerous. They don't even realize that they are, but they are. They get dudes beat up, jumped, and all kind of other stuff be happening. Because you got to feel like you're going to have to, protect her because that's your girl. But in reality, she would have, been acting stupid and entice some shit over to where y'all are. And then you got to jump in the middle of it and it's going to be a hot mess. This kind of girl, she doesn't know, like, if a guy flirts with you and stuff, and she's with you, how to shut it down. She's not going to shut it down because she likes it too much. That's what I'm talking about. Other women would shut it down and say, well, I'm with my man here that's, kind of disrespectful. Can you please give us some space? Or, I'm married. I'm not interested. They say stuff like that. This one is going to be lapping it up like a dog. So you be careful with her. You be careful with her. This kind of chick, I don't know. If I was a dude, I would deuce out on this, to tell you the truth. But, we took that. I mean, Candace has not been putting in all the stuff on the form, like exact locations and ethnicity and stuff like that. She hasn't been putting that. She's been shortcutting me. So I don't know what your culture is about that kind of stuff. But in the Black community, we know better. We know that that's very dangerous, because folks be like wanting to, whip out Glocks and stuff and just commence to acting a fool. So as a woman, you know that, it's kind of our responsibility to run interference and shut shit down before it even gets activated too tough. It's a protecting of ourselves as well as for our, our dude. So we know that. Now, this girl, obviously, I'm telling you, is not going to do that. She's going to be all lapping it up and all excited because somebody, validated her. So be careful. Question number 3. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's from London. Summary of issue. This guy asked me out, but said he'll let me know a date in a few weeks. What? How should I move forward? You shouldn't move forward. You should block his ass. But let's see what you do. I seriously don't know what to think. I've been talking to someone for almost 2 months on an app. Initially, it was really great and he'd message daily. Okay, I just want you to know the I's are lowercase and there's no capitalizations at the beginning of sentences. That indicates someone with low self-esteem. So we got to figure out what's going on with girlfriend. So she's been talking to him for 2 months. We had a great call and we arranged another call a week later. Didn't say really when. Unfortunately, I didn't respond for a few days because of some family issues. But when I got back, I apologized to him a lot. He continued talking, but taking more time to respond. We had another call and he was very excited about meeting. He asked me out. I asked him to give me dates, but he said because he's about to move towns, he's coming to my town, he will have to let me know in a few weeks. He takes several days to respond. I don't want to be in a situationship where I'm chatting to someone and not meeting. How should I move forward with this? Move forward with what? It's just some voice on the phone. You don't know really what dude looks like, how old he is. You don't know nothing. You putting too much on it. You should do like I advise the other young lady. You should be dating 2 or 3 guys, and then this wouldn't even be like you just like, okay, well, when you get here and it's a month or 2, that's fine. We'll meet it then. But you wouldn't be sweating it. You wouldn't be thinking about it. And you definitely would not be wasting your time writing an advice letter about a man that you're not even in a relationship with and haven't even laid eyes on. Do you understand how you were jumping the gun and putting way too much on this? It's some clown you've been chatting with on an app. I'm trying not to drink till the holiday on Monday. I've been really good. I haven't had any alcohol for a week. I missed it. These people. Oh, these people. Let's move on to question number 4. This is a young lady in the 20 to 34 age group, no location provided. Summary of issue, minimal clothing and female empowerment. Hi, Miss Deb. I listened to your last live and the question about the man and his girlfriend wearing sheer clothing came up. Oh, that was last week. Remember that one? I wanted to get more of your perspective on women wearing less or exposing clothing while demanding respect and claiming it's empowering to them as feminists. Aren't there other ways to receive respect without requiring a woman to show off her body to random strangers like that? Thanks, Candace, if you choose my letter. Yes, there are other ways, and I discussed them in my response. Because to me, it's like, if you have all this freedom, right? And I don't think it has anything to do with feminism, because the ones who do this stuff tend to be exhibitionists, not feminists. So let's get the ists right here. Exhibitionist is not a feminist. Okay, so it's empowering to them. I mean, I don't see how. having men gawk at you and make nasty comments and try to touch you and stuff, how is that empowering? Unless, like I said, you're an exhibitionist and someone who's an attention seeker. Then yeah, that would be empowering to you because you would be getting the attention that you're looking for. And I already talked about how, to me, the litmus test is, okay, you're a young lady and you think this is so grand and wonderful. This is such a lovely outfit to wear. Okay, you meet some guy and he's a respectable family and you're going to meet his family for the first time. Would you wear that outfit to meet his mother and father? Inevitably, they look aghast and say, oh, no. Okay. So then I hit them with, okay, so now you're going to go to church with all your grandmother and your aunties and your, mom and dad and stuff. Are you going to wear that outfit to church? Oh, no, my God. Okay. Would you feel so comfortable about wearing this on a corporate job interview? I mean, it's one thing if you're interviewing to be a cocktail hostess or a stripper or something, but you want to get a corporate job in corporate America where you're going to be, carrying your laptop and having meetings and have an office and stuff. Is this the kind of attire that you would think it would be appropriate to wear in that environment? Oh my God, no, they say. Okay, so where do you wear whole clothes? Where do you wear whole clothes then? Where's the corporate environment to wear whole clothes? Well, maybe nightclubs. And if you like to be on the corner, then you could wear it there too. You have one of these sites where people pay you to look at you be half dressed. I guess that would be appropriate as well. But notice the association between those locations versus the other ones. That alone should tell you that there's no kind of empowerment going on. There is exhibitionism, and then there's socially acceptable and respectable attire for young ladies. So you just figure out which one you want to be, which one you want to do. And like I said, there's certain environments where that kind of stuff is appropriate. And there's other environments where it's not. So keep it straight, dress accordingly. Even something as simple as, I was telling you guys, like when my daughter was in private school, thanks, Brandy. And there was a doctor, single. He was single. I forgot what happened to his wife. I think she died or something. But anyway, so he's raising his little boy by himself. And he met this chick, right? And so they're playing, the school was having this little game and stuff. So everybody's at the school. And it's not, fine. The guy in his 40s, just nice looking brother, And so he brings us, he invites this chick, as a date to see his son play. Okay, this is like at an elementary, little private school. It went from, I think, 1st through 8th grade. So, these are little kids. And it's not fancy. They got them fold up kind of bleachers with the holes in them and stuff, the slats. So we're sitting on these things. And this lady comes with the skin tight ass jeans on and it's like some 5-inch stilettos and just lashes and this whole thing to a kid's sport game. We all got on jeans and tennis shoes and baseball caps because it's outside in the sun. So it's sunglasses and stuff. And so we're looking at her like trying to make her way up the bleacher things with them stilettos and not get her heel caught in one of them slat gaps. And the doctor was so embarrassed. I know that just not going to jump. And she was really pretty. She was a really pretty lady, but you could tell by his face that was going to be it. And then we never did see her again. So, that's what I'm saying. You got to think about appropriate attire for where you're going to go and the environment. And even though that wasn't like, it wasn't like nasty or exhibitionist type of clothing, it was inappropriate for the situation. That's what I'm saying. Just be cognizant of where you're going, who you're going to be around, and the purpose that you're going to be there, and then dress accordingly. I just don't understand it. Yeah, it was a shame because, I know Shani, she just knew she had caught her a doctor. She just knew. I used to talk to him a little bit, but not like, certain things are just out. His social circle was outside of my league. It was like I would have never been comfortable with him and his friends. I could mix and mingle with. I went a couple of parties at his house and stuff. And, they were fine. But I know on a general basis, like for dinner parties and going on vacations and stuff, all his friends were other doctors and other kind of, high-end professionals. So they get to talk and shop. I don't care about that kind of stuff. I don't hear about people's blood and guts and disease processes and stuff. I'm just no. And I wasn't, I just knew that wouldn't be a comfortable relationship for me. Even though he wasn't, that snooty kind of dude. He was just regular. He just happened to be a doctor. But you still, just the title alone, the social circle he runs in. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna pass on this. So let's move on to question number 5. Female in the 22 to 27 age group from Leeds in the UK. Summary of issue. Am I being manipulated by my ex when he says that he loves me, or is he being genuine? The fact that you have to ask ought to be your answer. Chick. I'm 26 and I broke up with my ex who's 10 years older. So that means he's 36 and you 26. 11 months ago, because he was yelling at me during arguments. A few days before the breakup, I regretted it. After the breakup, I regretted it because I considered that I didn't fight enough for us and didn't communicate properly and instead started arguments. Okay, that's what immature young people do. I tried to resolve things with him and told him that everything that bothers me about his behavior and that I'm willing to try again if he took accountability. He refused, saying he did nothing wrong. And I tried for a month and a half to try to get him back. But eventually I found out that he has a new girlfriend who's only 23. Okay, so he's going down. I was shocked. And I told him he disappointed me and asked why he did that, considering he told me he still loves me and told me that he would never love anyone else. He said he met someone special and that he's happy and that he was unhappy with me for a long time because of my behavior. I was really hurt, but I stopped asking him questions. We had remained in contact because of my stuff since I lived with him and left everything in his place. And he took way too long to send it, so I had to text him once a week for 3 months. During this time, he was flaunting his new girl on social media and appeared very happy. But after a couple of months, he started saying how he would never love someone like me or being with the new woman. How it was my fault because I left the relationship and abandoned him. He would say this and then not answer my text. Because I was hurt, I told him I would take him back if he showed me he's honest and truly sorry. But then he was avoiding talking about this and only said, can you realize I never betrayed you and admit all the things I did for you? Okay, she went on and on. I asked him why he tells me that he still loves me. He said he doesn't know, that he knows it's unfair, but sometimes he can't control his need to talk to me. Okay. At first, I wanted to get together, but not anymore since I do not like his immature behavior. But I still wonder if he's being genuine. And yes, I told his girlfriend about his texts and calls. Okay, so you like little silly bitch shit. That's what you like. Okay, I'm going to say this. What did he do, though? You're talking about what he said, and I'm asking you, what did he do? What did he do? He went and got him another woman. And then he kept texting. You know why he kept texting? Because you didn't block him. You didn't follow the protocol. Because you wanted him back, which is what I tell all these women who don't block the men. Even if they don't want to admit it, that's why they don't block him. Because they're secretly hoping he comes back. So they leave the door open for him to do that. Doesn't matter how bad he was, how much he lied, cheated, ignored them, didn't hold up his end of the relationship. Just nothing. They ignore all that. They don't block the guy or change a number or do anything to put up a barrier from him contacting them because they want him back for whatever unknown stupid reason they have. So I'm going to tell you this. He says he loves you, but what's he doing? He got him a different woman. So what does that mean? I think you figured out the answer to this yourself. You didn't need to write 977 paragraphs of drivel about some man that you're not even with no more. This doesn't make any sense. You should be focusing what your next steps are, what your futures hold, where you're going to go in life, what you put behind you and looking in the back rearview mirror and keep talking about that is just a waste of your time and energy. Oh my God. Yeah, definitely need to move on. Question number 6. We're going to do 20 of our 26 questions, as I said earlier. The other 6 will be saved for tomorrow's show, which is the live advice show where you pay your $10 and you get your question answered on the spot. So question number 6 is a female 22 to 27 from Arkansas. Summary of issue. My boyfriend told me that he would marry me until we move in together. I've been with my boyfriend for almost 2 years. I'm 24 and he's 28, if that matters. Dad, we have a great relationship and not once did I think about breaking up. But since last week, I'm having doubts. Okay, so I live with my grandpa. He raised me since I was a little girl. My dad, his son, passed away when I was a baby, and my mother was a deadbeat druggie. I love living with my grandpa. He doesn't ask for anything. He's very sweet, and I love him very much. Last week, I was talking with my boyfriend, and he said he wouldn't be able to marry me until we move in together. I understand what he meant, but why couldn't we get engaged and save up to buy a house, not live in an apartment? My grandpa's house is beautiful and it's big enough. I love being there. My grandfather even told me not to worry about it, that his house is mine too. He raised me and I'm very attached to him. He's 79 now and I don't want to leave him alone, especially at this age. Is it a deal breaker from my boyfriend's point of view? What about from mine? It would be a deal breaker for me because, first of all, you're not going to tell me where to live. And he's not going to marry you. So are you even engaged? I mean, when did you guys talk about getting married? And any man who wants to live with you first is not trying to marry you. He's trying to negotiate to get all the benefits of being married without being married. So you tell him, I don't want to marry a man who's trying to get benefits from me as of having a wife and putting me in a position where I'm going to be leaving my 79-year-old grandpa all by himself. I want to marry a man who's considerate of the fact that this is a senior who this may be his last year or 2 or 3 or something. I want a man who thinks about stuff like that, not one who's so selfish he's trying to pull me away from the only family I have left to be with him. So, 2 years behind me, that's fine. It was fun while it lasted, but I'm out. You got to learn this. You don't let men intimidate you like this. He's holding this carrot out like marriage is some fantabulous little thing when he's only 28 years old. What's he going to do? Where is he so established and stuff that he can afford to have a wife at 28? Why should you leave the comfort of your grandpa's house with somebody that you feel safe and protective of and someone you know who's going to feel protective of you to go off with this boyfriend? Tell him to kick rocks. I wouldn't leave my grandpa either. Not at 79. No, we're not going to do that. He may need me. He may need me because you just never know. You know what I mean? Shit, I wasn't even 79 and I don't know what, you know what I mean? Shit happens. But the older you get, the more likely shit is to happen. And so to have a young person there that's looking in on you and, can call 911 or do CPR or something like that, is a good thing. That's a wonderful thing. And if I were her, I wouldn't leave my grandpa either. I'd just give me a new boyfriend. Question number 7. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from the UK. Summary of issue. I recently got ghosted by a guy I met through a dating app, and I'm having a hard time coping. These dating apps are just a nightmare. We had been talking for about a month. We called many times, and our calls lasted for hours, and we went on 2 dates. Both dates seemed to go well, I thought. The second date involved holding hands and kissing. A few days after our second date, he asked me out on another date, but said he wasn't sure when exactly it would be because he was very busy with school. 2 days later, I tried to send him a message asking how he was, and I noticed that my message wouldn't deliver. I then sent a message on Discord asking if everything was all right, and then he deleted me on there as well. I keep trying to figure out what happened. A sign I missed, something I might have said or done to make him want to leave without saying why. I don't understand why he would tell me he felt like we really connected and asked me on another date and then ghost me just 2 days later because he met somebody else. You don't know and understand that at your age? He's on a dating app. So he's going to be meeting all kinds of broads. He met somebody that he likes better and he put you in the wind. Okay? But like I said, if you had been doing what I said and dating 2 or 3 dudes, you wouldn't be bothered about it. But you put all this stock into him like, you was heading to a relationship or something. You're not doing this right. You're on a dating app. Those are for hookups. The very possibility, too, that, on that second date, he was expecting some action and all you did was give him some lip lock. And he was like, what the hell is this? So he moved on to somebody else who was easier. It could also be that. But it still means just he met somebody else. So that's your answer. He met somebody else. Okay. Question number 8. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Florida. Male is 28 to 34. Summary of issue. I would like your analysis on my reaction as well as his. Oh, God, this looks long as hell. Hello, Miss Deb. I stood for 2 hours twisting this man's hair. Why? Why would you do that? He gave me a hug and then pulled up my bonnet and laughed. I have cornrows and specifically told him that I don't want him seeing me without my wig or bonnet because I don't feel the most confident as my cornrows are a mess. I don't feel like we're at the stage for him to be seeing me like that. We only made it official for maybe 2 weeks. So he lifts my bonnets up and he laughs and my whole demeanor changed. He tried kissing on me, telling me I'm overreacting, but I continually ask him, well, why you crossed the boundary? I told you I didn't want to see me in this state. I wait until you walk out of the room to put on my wig before we step out. I walk away and cry shortly in the bathroom, feeling disrespected and humiliated. This situation, as small as it may be, tipped me over the edge. We were having other problems that's been bothering me, and I think that this was it. I said to myself, why am I doing this? I do XYZ for a man that doesn't deserve it. He gives me pushback about giving me simple compliments, giving BS excuses, and can't even follow simple instructions. So I go back to continue the conversation. He says I'm overreacting. He won't allow me to make him feel bad due to his actions. I yell, well, you effing feel bad, you should. And he tells me to leave. I pack all my stuff while talking my shit and I go. I won't go back, but I'd like to know from your perspective, did I overreact? I have friends saying I'm tripping, but how? I said, no, you laughed at me and said I laughed because I could see them and not at you. Isn't that the same thing? You didn't give a F about my boundaries and for whatever reason decided to cross them. But if I show a small bit of emotion you find distasteful, you're quick to tell me to get out. The night before, he also kept hitting my leg, and I tell him to stop continuously, and he never did. Not until I shut down and tell him to get the F away from me. Then you're always so hostile. It's just a joke. Why do you always have to have an attitude? As if the issue is always me. Every time I try to discuss why I have an attitude, he would get defensive and say, you're always trying to blame me. I don't think we're compatible at all. Girl, what is the fuck is wrong with you? Okay, first of all, you in his house and he's hitting your leg and you keep telling him to stop. By the time you had to tell him the second time, you're supposed to get your shit and get the fuck out. You don't stay there so somebody can keep hitting on you. What is wrong with you? You sound crazy right now. And then you want to write and complain because he upped the ante. He already is showing you a sign of being abusive, but you paid no attention to. Any man who's physically doing something to you and you tell him to stop, you don't like it, you don't want him to do it anymore, and he keeps doing it anyway, is abusive little fucktard. You should have got your stuff and left that second. But yet you stayed. You that desperate for attention for a man to be around that you're going to sit there and take this and then get up and braid his hair the next day? You was really talking about would have took some scissors and cut that shit off. Say, now braid your scalp since you like to hit people so bad. Hit this. Girl, this shit is over. Block that fool. This guy is not, something's wrong with him. Okay. He just keeps pressing and pressing and pressing your boundaries and doing things to irritate you and hurt you and just make you feel bad so that you go off so he can then ridicule you about your emotional response when he pushed you there. Don't you understand the game that he's running on you? This dude is extremely unhealthy. Get out of this situation like today. Leave this fool alone. And don't you ever take no shit like this again. I'm telling you, by the time you have to tell a motherfucker the second time to stop doing something when it involves your body, you get up and you leave. If it's something more that could be on the verge of criminal, you pick up your phone and you call 911. So you did this all wrong. You sat there taking it. Stop 500 times instead of putting yourself in action and taking some steps to make him stop. You pick up a blunt object and clock that motherfucker. See, I just love to stab people, though. See, that's my problem. He would have been bleeding. But yeah, you wise up, okay? Handle yourself smarter. This whole thing with the bonnet only happened because you stuck around the night before after he was beating on your leg. You just let that shit happen. All you had to do was get your shit and leave, and none of this other stuff would have happened. Question number 9. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from the UK. Female, 20 to 34, summary of issue. My girlfriend is 7 years older than me, and I'm afraid that this is the lock on the door for our relationship. She wants kids in the next 5 years, but I don't want children at all. What should I do? So she's 7 years older. I'm 24, and my girlfriend is 31, and we've been together since September of last year. We're both from the same country in Europe, and in February, she left to go to Vietnam for an internship. We had an amazing time when she was with me, but before leaving, but it's been really difficult having her so far away, not because I don't trust her, but because of the lack of intimacy. But last week I was talking to some friends, the topic of having babies came up. They taunted me by saying the time was getting close. I countered by saying that both her and me didn't want kids. That's what I thought anyways. I did, but they didn't believe me, so I talked to my girlfriend yesterday to ask her about it. We had talked about this early in our relationship and we agreed that we didn't want children. But yesterday she said that she might actually want some. She's not really sure. The reason why she didn't want to talk about it was that she sensed that it was kind of a deal breaker for me. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my girlfriend. She's super awesome. But I really don't want to have children. I feel like I might consider it 10, 11 years when I'm a bit more mature. But right now it's out of the question for several reasons, mainly because I just don't want it. Anyways, we both knew this was bad news for our relationship, as I don't want to make her believe that I want to have children and that she just has to wait, effectively hindering her chances of finding another good guy. But at the same time, I'm really not sure about it either because I do love her. It feels like it would just give her false hope. And that's really unfair to do this to her as I've been. And I'm quite sure that having kids isn't the way for me. And yes, I've given a lot of thought to this for a long time, and that's why I'm so definite on it. I loved some help getting my mind straight. We said we would give it the weekend to think about it, but I don't really see how this is going to go well for us. It's not going to go well. See, this is the thing you postpone the inevitable. There's no negotiation. Either you're a daddy or a mommy or you're not. You can't be half, there's no half here. You in or you out. You a dad or you not. You a mama or you not. She wants to be a mama. You don't want to be a daddy. So that means y'all can't be together. The end. Very short story. So whatever, that's her future goal. She's already 7 years older than you. So she's in her 30s. So, this is a reality for her. She's looking at, waning fertility in the next 10 years or so. So she wants to get started on her family. You just barely out of your teens. I mean, it's great that y'all was in a relationship, but this is when those older, younger relationships have a problem because of the lack of maturity of the younger partner and the older partner being more stable and more ready to, be on that life path of a family and marriage and all that kind of stuff. It's just the way that it is. So your relationship, your little fun party with your older woman is over. And when you guys talk about it on this weekend, just admit it and just let it go. No big deal. She deserved to be of somebody's mom if that's what she want to be. And don't you stand in her way, being selfish. Question number 10. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Canada. Summary of issue. How do you deal with male colleagues who are attracted to you? I'm a 23-year-old intern completing a master's program. I'm the only female staff member apart from my boss. I do enhance strong boundaries when it's needed. However, I have sensed that two of my male colleagues, let's name them Max, age 31 or 32, something like that, and Dan, who's 28 or so. They're physically attracted to me, especially Max. Okay, that's the older one. Has been obvious with his body language and the way he comes across, whereas Dan has complimented me before on my personality, and we have had conversations on deep topics. He's given me chocolates and food even when I have said no. Dan says that he's like that he used to give food to his previous female colleague and doesn't expect anything in return. He advises me at times when I do not need it, so he'd be mansplaining, huh? Always preaches about being yourself. Dan has ticked off the signs for, quote, a coworker having a crush on you / likes you, end quote. The other day, he even tried poking and touching me on my shoulder, which I kind of dodged and gave no attention to. And then he immediately started telling me that it's all about being friendly at the workplace and that it's like that with previous female coworkers. He even did that to me today, poking and touching my upper arm and shoulder to say hi to me after I was back from work meeting while keeping my stuff on the desk right in front of my female boss. I did see my boss had a confused expression, and so did I. I do spend work time the most with these guys because we sit in the same area. I have to assist Max with his work in my role as an intern. It's been a month at this place. Deb, I'm not attracted to them. I see them as male colleagues. I'm there to work. I'm a friendly person. I talk to everyone at the job, and I'm quiet and focused while working or at other times too. How do I go about handling this? So far, I'm being myself and I have my boundaries up. And also, how do we tell a guy not to touch you without being impolite? Fucking polite. Did he ask you if he could touch you? That would have been the polite thing to do. But he didn't do that, so you don't have to worry about being impolite to him. And you women kill me with this shit. Your boundaries are trounced. These dudes take all kind of liberties with you physically, and then you worry about, oh, I don't want to hurt his feelings. I don't want to be impolite. I want to be nice and this and that. Stop being stupid. Okay, you going into corporate America or wherever the fuck you are, and you're gonna be a corporation. This is what you're gonna be dealing with for the rest of probably the next 10, 15 years because you're very young. And this is when they be after you the most, when you're in your early 20s and late teens. It kind of starts to drop off a little bit by the time you head into your 30s, but it just depends on the age of the man. Because if he's in his 50s and you're 30, to him, you just, that's like a kid in the candy store. Age, the age difference. He might not go for anybody too much younger than that because it would be like a kid to him. So he's going to, women in their 30s would be his target. So it depends on the age of the man. So they're in their 30s, early 30s, and you're in your early 20s. So see what I mean? 10-year age, the 10 to 15-year age difference is what they tend to go for. What you have to do is when you go to work, you're going to see whoever the one who was touching you. Not Max, it was the other one whose name I forgot. And you're going to say, look, the other day when you came up to me and you were like poking me on the shoulder, don't do that anymore. I don't like it when people that I'm not, familiar with like that touch me. Keep your hands to yourself. Do not touch me in any way, shape, or form in the future. Do you understand? Yes. I'm just being friendly. I don't care what you're being. I'm telling you I don't like it. And I'm telling you stop doing it. And if you do it again, we're going to have a problem. Because I'm going to view it as sexual harassment. So keep your fingers to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself and just stay away from me like that. We're going to talk. We're only going to talk about work from here on out because, you seem to have a problem with boundaries. And I want to make sure that no more of them are crossed. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. Okay. Now the other one was I guess this is the same one who gives you food and stuff. If you say no and a man insists on giving you food, you take it right in his face and you throw it in the trash can. And you say, didn't I say no? That's what I meant. You need to listen when women say no. And then you walk off. See, you have to, with women, you guys spend too much time worrying about being nice, not hurting men's feelings, and all this kind of stuff. I go the opposite. Once I tell your fucking ass no, and you do anything that is on my list of don't do, all the good kid gloves come off. And I'm just going to read you and I'm going to hurt every feeling that you ever had because you deserve it. Because I already told you no. So yes, would I throw it in garbage? Absolutely, right in his face. And would give a damn if he didn't like it. Well, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to just waste your money. Yeah, but see, I told you I didn't want it. And you insist on shoving it in my face anyway. Leave it on my desk. So once I told you I don't want it, then, and you give it to me anyway, well, now it's mine to get rid of any way I want to. And since I already told you I didn't want it, it's going in the garbage can because I don't want it. Now, if you wanted it, you should have kept it. But since you tried to force it on me, it's in the garbage can. If you want it, you can go and get it out. But other than that, don't give me anything else. Don't bring me any food. I'm not eating anything that you or anybody else in here cooks. See what I mean? And then this thing, you talking about, he tried to mansplain to you. Say, just do the timeout thing. What is this? Or, the T hand and say, I know I'm here as an intern, but there is a lot that I've learned already. So, let's do this. If I have a question, I'll ask you. Other than that, when you're telling me things that I already know, it comes off as mansplaining, and that's not really a good look. And shut his ass down. Are they doormats, Vanna? That sound like it because it's just, I don't even know what to say because it's the overwhelming theme of letters that come in from women about situations with male coworkers. Every last goddamn one of them says they want to worry about, I don't want to hurt his feelings. How do I do with that? To be nice. Fuck nice. They wasn't worrying about being nice to you. I don't understand this. I mean, I'm like, why do you have to be nice to them? Why do you feel the need to, when someone is abusing you, to turn around and be nice to them? What the hell is going on with women's programming? I'm glad I didn't get that gene because I'm like, if I told your ass no and you do it anyway, all bets are off. I'm getting ready to act a complete fool and I'm going to dig in deep and go for your jugular. That's what's going to happen. And you're going to be sorry. Yeah, they're going to be up there talking about my feels. Exactly. I can't stand that. And it's just like, I could feel myself like when they do it right, I'm looking at them and I could feel my head dip like that. And I give them that under-eyed look. And then I lift my head back because I've done it too many times. It's like, a pattern. And some of my friends, different jobs have said, you have this thing that you do when they get to talking crazy. Either I look at them to the side like this, or I look at them down like this. And then when I lift my head up, this starts activating and it's all bad. But it's like when I'm doing this, I'm thinking about what I'm getting ready to say to you. And which should I choose, A, B, or C? Which increasing levels of viciousness. A is lightweight, but it's still going to check you. B is I'm going to go in a little deeper. And C, I'm about to read you and hurt your feelings. You're going to be doing the my feels cry. So, I'm just sitting there trying to figure out which one I'm going to do. And it depends on how egregious your violation is. If it's a lightweight thing, you're just going to get A. If I had to tell you before, you get ready to get B. And if you just went all out hog wild and just dipshit crazy, you're going to get C. I just don't understand it. Yeah, I'd be plotting a demise. That's what I call it. I'm plotting your demise. That's what I'm doing. And it won't be, like a physical one. I'm not trying to go to jail. But I'm going to slaughter your ego, and your feelings will be just mincemeat. So, just don't do that. I did that shit in a meeting just this week. What day was that? Oh, this was last week. It was Thursday. Yeah, I had this meeting with this crazy ass white man. He's out of his fucking mind. It's like he didn't know who he was dealing with. And he was talking all kind of crazy and trying to raise his voice. I'm like, don't do that. And he turned around and he misquoted me in something that I was saying. And he's just going to misquote me. And I'm like, wait, just in the meeting right in front of everybody, I said, wait a minute. That's not what I said. Don't misquote me. If you're going to say what I said, you say exactly what I said. And I'm telling him just in this same tone of voice, just like this. And everybody was like, because I guess, I don't know. I don't know what he's supposed to be, why everybody's scared of him. And so then he's like, I just sang. I said, I don't care. You don't misquote me. Don't do that. And I did my sister finger. And then at some other point, he kept talking. And he was like not getting to the point. I had to catch myself. I was like, what is your point? Right. And then I stopped myself. I did it like 3 times. And then I had to stop myself because I was like I was getting wound up. And I went into sister land. What is your point? And then I stopped myself and I was like, oh shit, let me slow down a little bit here. Because I was getting myself amped up. And the next thing he was going to become is some kind of different kinds of motherfuckers and stuff like that in the meeting. And I could just feel myself going there. That's what happens, and I hate to say it, people say like after you have a stroke, you lose a lot, that sense of, when you would normally hold back on stuff, I don't hold back. And I didn't really hold back that much before, but now I really don't hold back. And so I've gotten myself into some trouble, and sometimes stuff comes out of my mouth and even I'm surprised that I actually said it because I'm thinking I'm only thinking it, but in actuality, I'm saying it. And that's been since the strokes. And I found out that that's a common thing. So, something happens in that ability to, just only think stuff and not say it kind of doesn't work right anymore. So yeah, I was all over dude. And then finally he just started acting stupid. And I said, well, I see this is just going in circles. And so I'm going to leave now. And I clicked off the meeting, left them sitting there and just went on about my business. That's what my doctor said, that it was a common thing, Like I said, though, Pay, what is that name? Pay. Well, anyway, I'm going to just call you Pay. I already didn't really hold back that well anyway. So, probably most people were down here. Well, I already started here. Then I had the stroke. So now I'm way over here somewhere. And so I'm just like merciless. I just be telling people about themselves. Oh yeah, that filter got blown up. I don't even know where that is. Yeah, that's what I did because it messes with your brain, Vanna. I know I had it. It was right here. I could feel it when it happened, right here in the side of my head, right here. And then so it affects your left side. But yeah, that's one thing I noticed. But yeah, I told that motherfucker up. He didn't know what happened. And I was like, what the fuck ever. Yeah, just I don't know. And I wasn't even too bothered about it. But when I did the hand clap thing, see that even that shocked me. I was like, wait a minute, where am I? I forgot where I was. Like, girl, you're not on the show. You in a meeting with all these white people looking at you. Clap your hands and tell this man what's your damn point. Whew. Let's move on to question number 11. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Kentucky. Summary of issue. My boyfriend is too dependent on me for social interaction. My boyfriend recently shared with me that he feels like he has no one to talk to except for me and doesn't have a single person to invite to meet up, and it's been weighing on my mind. I never asked him to cut off his friends or isolate himself, but I can't help but feel responsible for his loneliness. He did appear to be more extroverted before we started dating. But the thing is, prior to our relationship, he was very close with his ex-girlfriend's friend circle, all females. But after they broke up, he stopped seeing them all together. Well, of course he did, because those are her friends. I am blessed to have my own group of friends, also female, if that matters, that I feel like I can talk to or hang out with at any given moment. But due to the fact that my boyfriend is becoming very needy of my attention and presence, I'm giving up seeing everyone else in order to spend time with him. And I feel like with time, we're both becoming too dependent on each other. Dad, we are 21-year-old adults now. I would like both of us to slow down a little and spend more time separately and have our own diverse social circles and maintain connections outside of our relationship. I love him endlessly, but I am feeling slightly burdened to be both his girlfriend and his only friend. And I'm not sure how to handle this situation delicately. There's no delicate here. You start going out with your friends and you leave him at home. That's what you do. If he complains about it, say, well, then get you some friends. I'm not going to give up my friends and other associates and stuff to be with you all the time. That's going to make me really boring, and it's going to make me resentful of you instead of bringing us closer. I can't be your everything, and you can't be my everything. So we have to find a balance where we spend time together, but we also spend time apart, doing the things that interest us and hanging out with the people that we like that outside of this relationship. That's what you say, very matter of fact. It doesn't have to be blaming him or anything. It's just reality. If you stick to facts, what's he going to say? Well, I don't like it. Well, just scratch your ass and get glad, and then you like it. But I mean, either way, it's going to happen. So whether you like it or not, it's not going to change anything, my sweetie pie, honey bunch. So you just, get used to it, because there's going to be times when I'm not here. There's going to be weekends when I go away with my friends. There's going to be times when you want to have a date and I'm going to already have plans. This is what this means. I have a life outside of you. You need to get you one. Question number 12. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from London. Summary of issue. I'm seeking advice on how to navigate cultural and personal differences in my relationship. Deb, I need your help as a mature woman of color who is well-versed in other cultures and ethnicities. I just don't feel like I can ask any of the Caucasian advice columnists because they won't get it. Oh, well, that's a rather sweeping generalization, but let's see what you got to say. Anyway, I am a 25-year-old European man in a relationship with a 24-year-old Chinese woman. We've been navigating myriad challenges, and I'm seeking your advice and perspective. She moved to the UK about 6 months ago, but may need to return to China in September if she doesn't find a job. She's expressed concerns about future stability, namely my current lack of a house and a car, which she sees as essential for our relationship to progress. She has even mentioned that she's somewhat materialistic, and her parents wouldn't approve of me without these elements in place. Cultural differences add another layer of complexity. Some family members, particularly her grandmother and aunt, have shown disapproval due to me not being Chinese. Communication has also been a hurdle. Early in our relationship, during a disagreement, she attempted to leave, explaining later that she wasn't sure how I preferred to handle conflicts. She often critiques my behavior, such as talking loudly, gesticulating in public, or not standing perfectly straight. Our familiar backgrounds pose another challenge. She's aware of my brother's past addiction. He's recovered, and my parents' past use. Oh. So you come from, yeah, that ain't gonna work. She worries her family wouldn't accept this if we advance in our relationship, insisting on full transparency. Okay, first of all, if you got a woman who wants to tell her family everything, she's a big ass baby, and you don't want to be with a woman like that. She should not be telling her people the stuff everything that you tell her. Women and men too who do that are just too immature to be in a relationship. There has to be like barriers between what's y'all's personal business and what they tell, what's told to other outside people. So that alone to me is the most major red flag of everything that you've said so far. But there's more. I like to resolve conflicts through questioning, but she views this as the me being, quote, too sensitive. She often dismisses her hopeful remarks as just jokes, rarely apologizing. She brought up the Chinese dowry system without directly asking for one, which has left me unsettled. On social media, she finds it, quote, weird to tag me under my poetry account and admitted that she initially found me weird but continued dating me due to my good outfit. She differentiates between relationship and commitment, something I don't fully understand. Well, one is dating, and commitment means that you're headed towards marriage. Dating is nothing. As I've said on this channel hundreds of times, being a mere boyfriend or girlfriend don't mean shit. That's nothing. What is that? It's a word. It doesn't mean anything. That's what. So she thinks like me there. She says she's willing to work on our relationship, but doesn't want to wait more than 2 years for me to get a house and car. Although she mentioned that her feelings might evolve as she gets to know me better. I'm at a crossroads and need advice on how to handle these issues, foster understanding, and strengthen our relationship. Any guys would be appreciated. Okay, first of all, I do appreciate that you are trying to understand a woman and her, her culture and all that. So I give you points there. You're not just jumping to conclusions. You're not just, dismissing it. You're truly putting forth some effort to try to understand. So you get credit and applause for that. I like that. I like that. Unfortunately, what you have run into is a gold digger. She is, other than just using the word, that's what she is. You don't measure up. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough stuff. You're not at the level where she can use you to get her people over to the UK and have you sending them money and all this stuff and talking about a dowry and all this stuff here. She wants a man who's got like ends meeting like a motherfucker, and that's not you. You don't have the stuff that she needs, that she's looking for. So, I appreciate the fact that you like this girl and everything, but you need to like yourself more right about now. First of all, she's gonna, she makes hurtful remarks and she dismisses them as just jokes and doesn't apologize for them. After one time, that means the person's doing it on purpose. They want to hurt you. How do I know that? Because that's how I am. If I like you and I respect you and I don't want to hurt you, then if I say something that hurts your feelings and I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, I will apologize. But 99% of the time I said some fucked up shit to you because I did want to hurt your feelings. And I'm just sitting there looking at you be upset and like not giving a damn that you're upset and excited actually and happy that you're upset because that was my goal. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's it. So you have to know the kind of person that you're dealing with. And I'm sad to say she sounds a lot like me and my little bitch ass. So, what I'm telling you is she's not really showing signs of being interested in you. So you should, let her go back to China in September when she goes and just deuce out. But, it's not to say that, every Chinese woman is going to be like this, but I'm just saying this one is like that. And so, it's something that you need to think about in the future. You're not good enough for what she's looking for. She wants someone who can upgrade her lifestyle, put her in a house, let him drive his car, give her money to send to her people. That's what she's looking for. And this dowry system and all this old stuff here. I don't know where they still do a dowry, but whatever. That's what I'm telling you. So just let her go. Question number 13. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Wisconsin. Summary of issue. I am tired of my friend's constant crisis mode. She is emotionally draining, and I need to know, how do I leave her alone in the least damaging way possible? Here we go with another one trying to be nice. I don't even know where to begin, but I've been dealing with this for quite some time and I have no idea what decision to make regarding my friendship with, quote, Lisa, whom I've known since we were children. We're now 25 and 27 at this point. Okay. In our early friendship, if you can even call it that, where I have memories of me trailing behind her wherever she went. I so desperately wanted her approval, but I was constantly shunned, bullied, and alienated whenever she had another companion that she deemed a more suitable playmate than me. I've grown a lot since then, and Lisa was just a part of my past and didn't really care for her, even if she was a dark cloud of my childhood. But a few years ago, she decided to appoint me as her personal mental health counselor without me realizing it. I think the past younger me just wanted the approval that she always craved, And I found myself giving up a lot of my time consoling my not really friend while I was in college. I never really got over the bitterness I felt towards her, but I felt like if I needed, yeah, it would undo all the things I felt before. Fast forward to now, I find her unreliable and generally she does not add anything to my life and is constantly negative and paranoid about everyone. I know I put myself in this position, but I finally come to the decision where I need to respect myself. She's a toxic person who I don't have the mental energy for, and I hate that she never runs out of things to be paranoid about. I don't know how to kindly tell her I don't want to be around her at all. I just don't know if anything about draining friends, but I need some advice about how to part ways. Do I just slowly remove myself? Well, if that's worked better for you, I prefer cold turkey. But see, you too concerned about being nice. What I would do is I would, when she called the next time, say, you know what, I'm going to hang up because I don't feel like hearing this shit. All you do is call me to whine. You need to go get you a shrink and pay that $150 an hour. You ain't giving me nothing. You're just wearing my nerves out with this shit. And, it's really, and I thought about this quote, friendship that we have. It's extremely one-sided and I'm not getting shit out of it. So when we hang up here, don't call me anymore. Lose my number. Forget you ever knew me. That's how I would handle it. Because I like to be very clear about my intentions, my expectations, my role in the relationship, your role in the relationship. I don't want there to be any kind of confusion or gray area. I want you to fully understand. You need to understand the assignment. Your assignment is to get as far the fuck away from me as possible and to stay there. That's your assignment. Please do it well. And that would be the end of that. I'm telling you, Cece, people just don't understand the assignment. Well, she needs to, she's probably going to be the kind that want to do the slow fade out, the passive aggressive thing. I'm just going to tell you. So, there will be no, you don't have to guess how I feel. It'll be very clear because I'm going to tell you. And then I'll tell you what to do about the fact that I feel this way, which is go the fuck over there. And then there you go. That'll be it. And lose my number. That means you're not going to call me. And if you do, I'm going to just look at it because you're about to become do not answer number 88 on my phone. Question number, I never know who those people are because once I change the name to do not answer with the number, I don't know who they are anymore. So every so often one of them will pop out, do not answer 12, do not answer 38. It pops up and you look at it, but I just follow instructions on the screen, do not answer, and there you go. Question number 15. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Seattle. Summary of issue. I resent my boyfriend and I don't know how to get rid of these feelings. My boyfriend is 25 and I am 19. He is too old for you. He agreed to stop liking half-naked pics and stop following them and liking bikini pics when I asked him to. However, I keep catching him doing it and he says he's sorry, but then he just does it again anyway. He lies and says he doesn't go on Instagram, doesn't look at them in a physical way, yet he follows accounts that only post that kind of stuff. He doesn't care for it and, quote, forgets, etc. I want this to work with him, but I can't even bring myself to have a normal conversation with him anymore. Like, I'm so uncomfortable. I'm angry. I don't want to see him or talk to him because it doesn't feel normal. I know I need to break up, but I don't know why it's so hard for me to get myself to do it. Please be nice and not judgy of me. No, because that's what I'm here for, to be mean and judgy. I'm going to be mean and judgy, and I'm going to start with stop acting stupid, like you don't have any control over yourself. You sitting up there in a situation with somebody who don't give a fuck about you, who lies to your face, not just once, but over and over and over and over. And then you sit there and you stay, and then you be mad at him because you stayed. You chose to do that to yourself. He just being himself. You already know what kind of dude he is. So, the thing about it, he's not going to change. So the person who has to change here, because the person who's having a problem with him being as he is you. So you're the variable here. He's going to continue his life because that's what he likes to do. So you just have to decide, is that something I can deal with or not? If the answer is no, which it seems like it is, then you go that way and you leave him over there. That's how that works. But, you want to sit there because what it is, you don't want to accept him for what he is. You want him to change to be what you want him to be. And nobody's going to change for you. Nobody. When you get in a relationship, you accept the person for the way that they are. You leave them alone. In this case, you haven't come to that realization yet that he's never going to change, and you need to stop asking him to. You're wasting your breath. Get you a man who doesn't want to look at bikini pictures and naked women online, and then you'll be fine. But you got that kind of dude and you trying to change him into something else. So once you decide that, you're going to wake up and smell, as they say, read the room, then you'll be fine. Question number 16, female, 22 to 27 from Atlanta. Summary of issue. I want to date again, but got stood up twice in a week. How do I get over this? After breakup, I am back on the dating apps, and I had 2 dates planned last week with guys I talk to every day. One guy we've been talking consistently over the phone for 2 weeks. One guy we're supposed to meet Friday, well, he was running late, number one, and then he said he got a flat tire and just flat out canceled. I did not talk to him the rest of the day because I didn't believe him. I was upset too because I was already ready and sitting in my car waiting for him. The second guy we were supposed to meet on Saturday, and he didn't text or respond to me. We still haven't talked. I feel both guys have wasted my time, and it's making me not want to date. Any advice? Yes, stay off the apps. What do you want from me? I mean, I'm waiting. Okay, we've been talking about these apps. How many years we've been talking about these apps? I'm still waiting to hear a good story about a guy that a woman met on the app. Out of all the 1,000 or more letters that have come in over the years talking about these people that meet on the apps, not one of them has been good. Not one. Not one. So, you asking me for what you should do, the best thing I could think of is to get off the apps. Because to me, the guys that are on the apps are losers. The guys on the apps are just game players and catfish artists and commitment phobes and losers. You know why I say that? Because a dude that's got some stuff going, he don't need to be on an app to meet a woman. He gonna meet women everywhere because he got it like that. He could be at the gas station. Honey pull up next to him in the pump and sees him through the pumps, and he'd be like, hi. Flash his smile, and she gonna be like, oh, goddamn, I done looked up and went to the right gas station. What your name is? And he's gonna flash his smile and give him her card or phone, get her number, something right there in the gas station, in the grocery store. This guy happened to be with his mother, though, but they were shopping because she had come to visit him, and they were shopping, and I saw this little white boy. This boy was cute. Oh, my God. He had just come from the gym, and he had his little shorts on and stuff, and I was like, oh, my. I have died and gone to heaven. And so he had this little man bun because he had this little hair, and he was with his mother, right? Like, so, me, though, I'm still going to make my play. And I decided I need something on the high shelf, and this dude was about 6'4". I'm 5'5". So I'm making this pretense like I'm reaching up there, but I really wasn't trying to reach up there. I was just pretending I was trying to reach up there. And so then he came and I sidled up next to him. I said, you're so tall. Can you reach up there and get that for me on the top shelf? And he's like, sure. He looks down at me. He's like, sure. And his mother, she's standing back on the side. And I know she knew what I was doing, but I'm sorry, you shouldn't have such a cute son. And so then he eases over there and he reaches up and he gets me what I'm looking for, some pasta sauce or something. And then he gives it to me. And he's like, well, what are you going to make with that? I said, well, I saw this recipe online and I'm going to try it. And it's this and that and blah, blah, blah. And he says, oh, that sounds really good. Now, see, if his mother hadn't been there, that would have been the ideal time to say, well, why don't you get coat, go home and get cleaned up, and then you can come over and try it with me. But his mother was there. So I had to rein myself in and not be such a garden tool. But oof, I'm telling you, he was cute. And I was like, hi, all grinning. But that's, I'm telling you, I still remember that. Because I was like, oh, where have you been all my life? But, I'm an equal opportunity. I don't care about, the race of the dude. He just got to have a certain look. I don't care what color he is. He got to be tall. He got to have some hair. I don't like bald dudes. And he's got to have this. If they got this or the 5 o'clock shadow, I'm all over them. And so he had all of that. And like so he had his hair in a man bun. And I was like, ooh, even the little Latino dude I saw in Starbucks one time, he was kind of chunky. I mean, he was, just starting his weight loss journey or whatever. But he had that, that Latino dudes had that wavy, thick black hair. He had that hair and he had it pulled up into a bun, but some of it was falling down. And he was, he was fluffy. He needed to lose probably about 40, 50 pounds. But the man's face was so handsome. So by the time he loses that weight and gets himself together, he was going to be like so fine. It was just going to be ridiculous. And so, he's at Starbucks and I'm like, oh, I saw all that, and you could, as a photographer and a trainer, you could see the potential. So I'm like doing my chisel thing and on the lighting, and I'm looking at him like, oh, this motherfucker is gonna be fine. As soon as he lose that 40 pounds, it's gonna be on like Donkey Kong. And so I'm like, oh, hi, what are you getting? That looks really interesting. And he had ordered some kind of sandwich, and he starts telling me about it. And his face, he just looked so stunned because I was talking to him. He was stuttering and stammering. He didn't know what to say. And I was just like, motor mouth and just talking. Say, oh, wait, your hair is beautiful and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Where do you go to work out? And so we're talking while we're waiting for our food to come, right? And so he just sitting there like with his eyes big because I know he didn't know what just happened. And so I leave, my stuff came, I leave, I go get my car parked in the front. I didn't park in the parking lot, parked on the street right in the front. So he's standing there watching me through the mirror, just like smiling to himself, like probably thinking, what just happened? But oh, he was cute. So see, I remember the cute dudes. I'd be like, oh my God. Yeah, I did mentally Photoshop when you're right. But I was like, man, this motherfucker right here. And he had all that hair looking like Fabio and shit. I was like, so anyway, yeah, let me get back to these letters. See, I'm going down memory lane talking about all the fine men I saw the last couple of years. And then the Chinese dude that I saw at the gym. I mean, I told you all about him. I've been looking for his ass. I haven't seen him no more. That's very sad because I was going to be all over that too. But see, like, I don't be tripping on what race the dude is. I'm just like, are you eye candy? Do you trigger my, this is a beautiful man button? If you do that, then I don't care what you are. I'm going to talk to you anyway. And shoot my shot. Yeah, he can't be too chubby, but I mean, dude, like I said, he was coming from the gym. So, he's trying to do something about it. I mean, I don't even know how much he maybe had already lost a lot. But, he was still fluffy. But he was about 6'2", 6'3". I mean, and beautiful. I mean, beautiful skin, beautiful hair, just nice face, nice features, dimples. And he had this going on. And then he had all that hair. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute here. So anyway, let's move on to question number 17. This is a young lady from the 22 to 27 age group from Washington, D.C. The male in question, same age group. Summary of issues. Should I ask a guy I'm seeing to be my +1 at my job summer party, or is it too soon? I'm 23 and I've been seeing this guy that's 24 for about a month. We've been on about 6 dates and text nearly every day. I find him to be really sweet, and he's telling me that he likes me, so I get the sense that we may talk about becoming exclusive in the near future. I try not to get overly attached to someone I like too fast, but I do think things are going really well. My company's having our annual summer party in mid-June. I got to save the date for it a couple of weeks ago. I don't know the full details on the venue yet, but last year we were able to bring a +1, so I really think I would want to bring this guy. I'm just worried that it might be too soon or too big of an ask since we've only been going out for around a month. I don't want to freak him out or anything or make him think we're moving too fast. I'm obviously going to wait to get information on whether we can bring somebody and where the venue is before I ask him. But even still, that's quite early on. And I feel like we haven't known each other that long. I don't know, Deb. Last year's party was amazing and at really cool venue, so I know he'd have a good time. It wasn't like a small party in the office with punch and cookies. Would it be weird to ask him if he wanted to come? How do you recommend I do it if you agree that it's a good idea? Well, you're right. First of all, you need to find out if you can bring somebody, because sometimes those company parties say no, depending on their budget and all that kind of stuff, is the employees only. So that's the first step. You're very right there. Then number 2, we don't know. I mean, he might want to go, but we already have plans that weekend. So there's so many possibilities here. But the thing that I would not be worried about is if it's too soon. The man already said he likes you. Okay. Was it too soon for that? You went with that. So then he could roll with you to a stupid party. It's no big deal. You're putting too much on it. The only thing is, and this is something to think about, do you have any bitches at your job? Go through the roll call on the mental tip. And to anybody there who's showing you any kind of animosity, jealousy, pettiness, bullying you, any kind of behaviors of that nature. If the answer is yes, then don't even bring him. If the answer is no, then you can safely bring him. The reason why I want you to think about that is when you have those kind of women and you show up with some cute dude who's all into you, but they know it's a new relationship, they're going to make a play for him. Depending upon what kind of guy he is, because you all ain't really a couple. You see what I mean? You're in a gray area. It's murky, it's dark, it's creature of the Black Lagoon style water. And, you just don't know. I mean, he might be somebody there he clicks with better than you. And since y'all not a couple, he would be free to do that. But that only would happen if you have them kind of girls at your job. If you don't, then it should be cool. No, it should be all right. But you think about it. You think about it. Because I've seen that happen to people. The relationship is so new. They're dating, but they're not a couple yet. There's no commitment. They're not an item. She brings this guy, or the guy brings this girl, and it's just somebody they've been talking to. And the person, is socializing, what you're supposed to do with these kind of events. And they meet somebody that they click with better than the one that brought them there. That is something that I have observed several different times through my life in corporate America. I started working when I was 16, so you can imagine. And it's just something to think about. So you know your coworkers better than I do. And it doesn't even have to just be the coworkers. It could be somebody that one of the coworkers brings with them, if everybody's a plus one. So you give that some thought and make sure that y'all are solid before you start dragging around a bunch of possible bitches. Question number 18. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group from California. Summary of issue. Was I the selfish one here? So I left my car keys on the train, and because of that, I had no way to get home. I called my girlfriend and told her what happened and asked her if she could pick me up. She said sure, and she was on her way. While she was driving to get me, her and I were on the phone, and I told her I wasn't sure how I'd get to LA the next day if I didn't have my car to drive there. But you can't rent a car, motherfucker? She told me that I could just take the train to LA the next day. I said, okay, well, I'll need you to take me to the train station tomorrow morning at 4:40 a.m. She said, I'll probably be tired, so you'll just have to take an Uber. Deb, I was taken aback by that statement because I really didn't think she would say that. I felt like that was a little selfish. I appreciate all she does for me, but I thought, wow, it's like that? I told her that if the roles were reversed and she told her dad that I made that statement, he would be upset. She doesn't care. She feels like because she had a long day and was going to have a long night, her safety comes first. Am I in the wrong to feel the way I do? Yep, you are. First of all, you entitled little bitch boy. Like your fucking ass can't go and rent you a car. They bring it right to your house for a drop off. You don't even have to go. Or she could have, you could have taken Uber to the rent-a-car place and got you a rent-a-car and drove to LA. That's what you could have done if you wanted to drive so much. Or you could do what she said, take the Uber to the train station and take the train. Because that's what grown men do. They make shit happen for themselves without depending on women who have to get up and go to work the next day, to get up at 3:30 or something in the morning after already picking them up late at night to drive them around like they're fucking Miss Daisy. She was nice, because I would have cussed your ass out and told you about yourself. Talking about, I was surprised. I was shocked. I didn't think she would say that. But you thought she's just supposed to be a slave to you because you lost your goddamn keys? Who doesn't have extra set of keys? First of all, so everything about this shows that you're lacking in maturity and forethought and planning, and you're very irresponsible, and you just suck at manhood. That's what it's showing. You're too dependent on other people to take care of you. You're the man. You're supposed to be taking care of her. But you got her running around like she's your mama. You motherfucker, if you were my son, I'd be cussing you out. As if you was my boyfriend, I'd be cussing you out. And I'm going to cuss you out now because you ain't shit. You ain't shit, little bitch ass motherfucker. That's what you are. So you get your shit together, figure out how you're going to get to wherever you're going by your damn self. And you're going to do that every time. And you're not going to be calling your girlfriend, asking her to come and pick you up. You're going to call a cab or a taxi, Uber or somebody and say, man, I'm at the train station. I need to get to XYZ place. So come and pick me up. And you would have went there on your own without disturbing her to come and get you and then have to drive all the way back too. You ain't shit. You an inconsiderate little fuck. You know what I mean? Just like he like his ass is Miss Daisy. Somebody gonna be driving his fucking ass around. I wish I would. I wouldn't have picked him up. I even did that for my husband. He's going to the Oakland airport and picked some flight because it was gonna save him money. So he had to go to the airport at just to say 3 something in the morning. Okay, we got this baby screaming. So I got to get the baby up, get the baby in the car seat and stuff, and go to the Oakland airport, and then come back home, put the baby back, try to get her back to sleep, and go to sleep myself. We ain't doing that. So he's like, well, why? I'm like, you are, because we not. You gonna get to the airport whatever way fucking way you can get there, leave me out of it. And so he learned real quick. Don't be trying to get me to do shit. I'm somebody's mama now. That's the only job I'm doing. So he was like, oh, is that what time it is? I'm goddamn right. That's exactly what time it is. So he never asked me to do anything about because he traveled a lot for work. His friend would pick him up, his business partner would pick him up, a taxi would pick him up, because they still had taxis on them days. He would get there whatever way he could get there, and he kissed me goodbye. I'm still in the bed. Kiss me goodbye and say, I'll be back in a couple of days. Well, bye. See you when you get here. This guy, I'd still be cussing him out. He would be on the plane, and I would be leaving him messages, cussing him out on his voicemail. Question number 19. We got one more after this. Remember, I'm going to stop at 20 and say the rest for tomorrow. Male, 22 to 27, from Antioch, California. Summary of issue. I constantly feel like I'm not good enough for my girlfriend. I recently begun dating a girl, and I'm very unsure about our relationship. She's really enjoyed the dates we've been on. I've had a blast with her, and I really seem to enjoy her company. However, I'm worried that she's going to want to end things out of nowhere, as has happened with my past relationships. I'm in average shape. I do fairly well for myself, but I've always suffered from very low self-esteem. I've been rejected thousands of times in my life by other girls, and it's almost as if I'm counting down the days for her to text me saying that she doesn't want to be around me anymore. What do I do to cope? I hit the gym, train MMA, and play golf, etc., but I still feel in dread that she might want to end things with me, and I'd be back to square one. Any thoughts on how to cope with this? I really feel like I'm not good enough for my girlfriend. Well, if you feel like you're not good enough, then you're probably not. What you want me to do? The thoughts that we have about ourselves become reality. I hate to tell you this, but all the stuff, this negative stuff that you're thinking, you're going to manifest this. So you're going to make your negative thoughts a self-fulfilled prophecy. If you had any kind of self-control, mental self-control, you would think positive, wonderful thoughts. You would behave accordingly, and your relationship would flourish. But instead, you're projecting doom, gloom, failure, brokenheartedness, separation, divorce. I mean, whatever. You're projecting that based on baggage from your past. The best thing you could do for yourself is get some therapy. Because whatever this is, you're hanging on to all this ancient history. I mean, the fact that you've been rejected thousands of times, I mean, you're better than most men, because they don't even put themselves out there enough to get rejected 5 times, let alone thousands. So you ought to understand and have some kind of like mental shield up by now, having experienced that, and understand that you survive and it's no big deal. You get rejected by jobs, right? Your credit card companies reject you. You put in a thing for a mortgage, you get rejected. You put in a bid on a house, you get rejected. You put in your resume to try to get the job, they reject you. There you go to interview, they reject you. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. The world is full of rejection. That's where it happens. And so you, as a person who's going to thrive in it, that's just one of the things you have to learn to deal with. As a writer, you send your manuscript off, and then you get them little letters back. Thank you, but no thanks. Or, flat out, no, this is not what we're looking for, and you suck at shit. So, you just deal with it. Does that stop you? No. Think about the lady who wrote Harry Potter. All the companies she sent her manuscript to, they all rejected her except for the one, and the ones that didn't made bazillions. Because those other companies had no vision. The one that finally published her did. So you know what I mean? All you need is that one. But you cannot take everybody who rejects you as a personal attack on yourself and let it shatter your self-esteem. That's just one person's opinion. I love to use the Higher Party story as an example. Because, in the end, the girlfriend was victorious. She kept trying. Everybody kept rejecting her. And they'll tell finally she hit pay dirt, and the rest is history. It's one of the most famous book series on the planet. Everybody read Harry Potter. Adults, kids, I mean, just everybody. So that's a perfect example of what, not letting rejection tear you down will do for you. So, I think, get yourself in some therapy before you make your negative things a reality, because that's where this is headed. You're going to set things up to make yourself be right. and you're going to destroy this relationship. And you're going to be sitting there then with the Pikachu face talking about, oh my God, I knew this was going to happen. Well, yeah, it's going to happen because that's what you wanted to happen, because that's the energy you're putting out there. That's what you are going to manifest. You manifest what your dreams are, what you think. It becomes a reality. So your mind, the human mind, is very powerful. And people don't realize, your thoughts have energy, and your thoughts are all negative. And so you're bringing back negative energy into your relationship. You better stop. This is your last question of tonight. This is what we're going to be doing tomorrow night. So same time, starts at 6 p.m. Pacific time. If you have a question, like you sitting here and you listen to all these other people's questions, and you're like, dang, I have a question too. I need it. It was supposed to be last week, but I had some stuff to do, family stuff, and I couldn't do it. So moved it to the fourth Friday, which is Thursday, tomorrow. So you come with your little $10. The Cash App is Debsterism. That's what it is up there. See at the very top, Cash App Debsterism. Or we have PayPal. It's this survivingdating@gmail.com is the email. And you just pay your $10. You can also do it through the super chat thing, but I try to discourage that because YouTube takes 60%. It's just ridiculous. They just take everything. So I prefer if you do Cash App or PayPal. So we actually get the $10. That makes it very nice. All right, so let's finish up. We got our last question of tonight, question number 20. As I said, the other 6 will be what I used to start off the show tomorrow until people start calling in with their questions, and then we'll transition over to that, okay? So here it is, question 20. This is from a young man in the 22 to 27 age group from Denver. The female in question is in the 18 to 21 age group. Summary of issue: what should I be doing as a brother in the following situation? So my little sister's 19, and we've both been going to driving school for the past week. Our slots are adjacent to each other, but the instructor she got initially wasn't so good. He would keep talking a lot, and he also used to rest his arm on the steering wheel, which he doesn't need to do, and her thigh. Oh, really? And she's 19. She initially was irked by this, but said it wasn't clear if he intended anything malicious. Well, of course he did. I was of the opinion that she should make it clear anyway that she doesn't like it, and if necessary, talk to the lady who does all the management. Now, my sister's a staunch feminist and doesn't need me telling her this, but she didn't do anything. Instead, some days later, when I was there for my lesson, I encouraged her to at least ask the receptionist for another tutor, and that worked out. But today, again, because of unavailability, she had to go with her previous instructor, and he again did the same thing, talked a lot and rested his arm fully on her thigh while holding the steering wheel. This time, though, she brushed him off and he took the message and kept to himself. She told this to my mother and me. Now, my mother asked me to talk to my instructor personally and to ask him to take her sessions too. This is my dilemma. All this while I've myself not spoken about any of this to the driving school people. I've encouraged my sister to complain and offered to go with her to do so multiple times. I'm very confused because if I had spoken about any of this on my own to the instructors, my sister would probably have been very angry with me. This time, too, I thought she should handle this on her own, and I didn't want to do it. My mother thinks I should have taken matters in my own hands without asking. She says that she can't confront him in the car because she's alone with him, but I think she had multiple opportunities outside the car, including with the management lady, to complain and ensure that she doesn't get this instructor again. My sister says she doesn't need my help, and I don't need to take a moral high ground. She also says I don't understand what it's like being a girl, which, yeah, I don't. Now both my mother and my sister are angry with me. I'm honestly confused. What do I do in such a situation with two women telling me completely opposite paths of action? What am I missing from my sister's point of view? Why is she not complaining about the instructor's misbehavior even when I've offered to accompany her to do it? How do I reconcile with her? I apologize if this is too long. I appreciate you taking the time to read this anyway. And Candace for choosing my letter. Well, I still left some of it out because you just went into way too much detail. I think your sister at 19 understands that it's something that she has to figure out on her own. And the guy, he didn't grope her really, but he was inappropriate. You don't need to touch the students that you're training and resting his arm on her thigh. What the fuck is that? But she's right. It's something that she has to learn how to handle. So she finally took action, brushed the guy off, and he was okay after that. And so, she probably feels okay with it. I would have preferred her to verbally say something to him, like, I don't want you touching me. You're here to teach me to drive. Keep your hands to yourself. I would, like her to reinforce her boundaries with a verbal acknowledgement of his behavior and corrective action. But she brushed him off, so at least that's better than what she had been doing, which was nothing. Your mother wants you to play the role of big brother, to step in and protect your baby sister. What you need to do is when they're both in there, you want to sit down with them and say, look, Mom, I'm trying to respect what she says she wants to do for herself. She's 19. She's a grown woman now. She handled it. And, I'm good with that. But sister, what Mom wanted me to do was what you told me not to do, which is go in there and regulate on the dude and just take over the situation. So she wanted me to do that. So she's mad at me because I didn't. And you're mad at me because you thought that I wanted to, but it was her pressing me to. I would put the blame back on my mother and say, so I would like you guys to do, I'm perfectly willing to step in and protect both of you. The two ladies that I love the most in this world. This is what you're going to have to add this in there. But, you guys need to make, give me one message. Please just give me one assignment. Just tell me what I need to do and I'll happily do it. But if you telling me one thing and you telling me something else, I don't know what to do. And y'all just confusing me. So when y'all figure out what role you want me to play in this family as far as protecting you goes, give me a clue, a smoke signal, a carrier pigeon, a sign language, something to tell me what I'm supposed to do. And then I will happily do it because I love you both and I want you both to be happy and feel safe no matter where you go. I got your back. But, if you're telling me not to do it, I'm going to respect your opinion because I'm feeling you know what you're doing. And Mom telling me to do it, but you telling me not to, I don't know what to do. So y'all figure that out. Then I would get up and I would go in my room and close the door. That's how I would do that. So that's going to be on you to handle that and make sure that they understand what's going on and how you feel about it. Okay? That's how I would handle it. All right, so that's our show for today. And remember, we'll be back here tomorrow at 6 taking your questions. So this is how it's going to work. You pay the fee first. If you submitted your question in advance, which you can do, just reference, your name that you use on Cash App so I can match it up. But if you pay during the broadcast, just put your name in the chat and let us know that you're ready for your question. And then we'll call you. We acknowledge that you did it and that you're ready. And then we'll say, okay, type your question in there. So if you're a slow typist, make sure you put your stuff in a Word document or WordPad or something so that you can cut and paste it into the chat. Because we don't have time to sit here waiting for you to do your 2-finger hunting pack at your little 13 words a minute self. So have your stuff ready to go. And then we'll, get your question on the air. And then I'll give you an answer. And I tried, I've been doing this for a long time. So the answers pretty much come, no matter what the situation is, I'll have a response for you. It may not be the one that you want to hear, but it needs to be what you need to hear. Let's put it that way. All right. So I'll see you guys here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's 9 if you're on the East Coast. And if you have a question, you have something that's coming up for the weekend and you need some help figuring it out and getting, yourself together for the weekend, please come and bring your question. It would be better for you to ask it in advance and have a plan than for you to go off and get yourself in some hot mess and then be trying to figure out what to do about it after. I can help you create a plan so that you date smarter, okay, not harder. I'll see you all tomorrow at 6. Ta-ta.